Hey, fellow awesome people who loves my late cat Nemo. Whoa. Hey, how are you guys doing? I am wearing one of my Nemo shirts, so stand up. There's Nemo, and I got a picture of me on and him on the side of my shirt. The last picture I remember taking of me and him, and then I don't know how well you can see it, but it's another picture, which of me and him, which so actually I think it would have been easier to show you this way. This is on the back. This is on the back. Anyhow, this will be, I guess you can say, episode 1 of the Nemo Chronicles. I will explain how I met him, how he got into being my cat, and a bit of the end of his life. So, one of my mom's old co-workers found him and his brothers out on the street. At the time, Nemo was named Tigger, and he had a brother that was black and white. Like, the only difference between him and his brother were like Nemo was orange and white, and his brother was black and white. Where the orange was the black was for his brother Zeus. So like, and they were hand sized. They couldn't have been more than the palm of my hand, where I can like essentially like carry them both and look at them, and then be able to sleep on like on my hands, essentially with one hand. They were tiny, and one of my mom's old coworkers found him. Um, and I do remember the day I met Nemo, at the time Tigger, and his brother. Like I said, they were hand sized. They were so cute, handsome little guys. Handsome little guys. And at the time, I had a cat named Lucky. My only female cat I ever had in the. It was 3 years now. I would have been. In the 27 years I had cats, because 26, because I had cats since I was 1 to 27, so we 26 years. I had cats. First was a Himalayan cat named Dusty. Then our second cat was, I don't know the exact breed of her, named Lucky, and then Nemo. So we had Lucky, and I met Nemo and his brother. And I remember there was one time when we went to this family function, and we took both of the cats with us. And I do remember I wanted his brother, because I figured, okay, there's a pretty good chance my sister would get Tigger, which will later become named Nemo. So I figured, okay, I want Zeus. So that, because I never had a black cat before, and I always wanted a black cat, so I can say I have owned a black cat. And well, that answer was that ended up being right. My sister did take Nemo or Tigger at the time. I part of the reason why I want to take Zeus, so that way, even though they wouldn't be like per se growing up in the same house, hold together, that me and my sister would be able to like set up play dates between both cats. So that way the brothers could still see each other here and there. And so that was another reason why I wanted to get Zeus. So that could happen. I never was able to get Zeus. I think he was left with the people that essentially like gave my mom or my sister Nemo. So they were such amazing cats. And like, even back then, I had felt this connection with Zeus. Not Zeus, sorry. Well, I had a connection with Zeus, but more so with Nemo at the time Tigger, and I couldn't explain it at all. And so I even remember too. It seems like Nemo's eyes were bulging out of his head, and if cats' eyes bulge out of their head, there seems to be, that's a really good sign that they're going to be big cats. And for those of you who have seen Nemo, whether it's on this channel, my Scattered Night channel, or his TikTok or Instagram, which will be linked in the bio, Nemo was a pretty big cat, like lengthwise. He was hyper one too, and so I do remember because my sister got Nemo his like within this first 2 to 4 years, I want to say, of his life while she was in college. And I do remember my favorite memory of this era, which I really hope my sister doesn't mind me sharing. There was one time when like Nemo was in his playful mood and he was running around her apartment, her dorm, and he just randomly plopped on the ground. And I was just coming out from going to the bathroom. And the way he looked at me, I could tell he was going to pounce on my feet. Not in an aggressive way, a playful way. And my sister said, "What are you doing?" I said, "Standing here because your cat's going to pounce on my feet." "Come on, he was not going to." "What type of like smoke are you like? What type of like clear are you like drinking?" "Because he is going to." "No, he won't." I think I can trust my big sister on this one because I'm the youngest of all three. I think I can trust my sister, and maybe she knows her cat better than I do. I take one step, and Nemo comes lunging at my feet playfully. And I told my sister, "I know your cat better than you do." Because at this time, Nemo was still her cat. And so I have not let that go either. I know I knew her cat better than she knew. Like, what? And so later on, when my sister graduated, she moved and wanted me to cat sit. Fine, I'll be a good little brother, cat sit. Nemo. And little did I know that like month, because in my head I figured, okay, maybe at most 3 to 4 months I'll be taking care of this cat. I didn't realize the next 11 years of 12 to 11 or 13 to 11 years of this cat's life, I'll be his caretaker. I'll be the one that this cat refers to as father, and in a way, mother. And so I'm not complaining because my time with Nemo has been amongst the best times of my life. He has taught me to. I always cared about others, but like do it in more ways than I knew I was capable of at the time. About how to put others, in this case Nemo, before myself. And we had really good days. There's been a few rough patches where I got scared with, and then days where he ignored the living crap out of me, which I miss. I miss those days too. Um, and then I think it was in 2022, late 2021 to 2022, is when his health started to decline. He had diabetes and high blood pressure, which is a horrible combo. I don't care what creature you are, what species you are. That's a horrible combo. And I would give him his shots because he had to take insulin to help lower blood sugar and stuff like that. But like, and diabetes, just it was a pain in the butt. And I do remember the time when I had to like his last week, which I think I might have explained when I did my update vid, like 2 years ago. His last week, and thank God this was once in the summer because there was no way I could like grieve Nemo while school was in session because I am currently also going to college. So like taking care of a cat and going to college, that was a lot. But I want to trade me being there for Nemo. I think the only thing I would do differently is like maybe dropped out, like not went to that semester and spend as much time with Nemo as I could, seeing how events took place. I would think I would have like dropped out of that semester. Probably would have like graduated a semester later than I did at the community college I went to. But that's the only thing I probably would have changed. But thank God I was able to get as much days as I could from that May to that June 7th. I would not let Nemo really be alone for that long. Like, sure, I would let him have his alone time because he probably needed it. Getting tired of his overprotective dad who like always gave him a hug and give him a kiss, like smothering him kisses on the cheeks. Like he probably got tired of me showering him with love and all that good stuff. What I feel like a good pet parent would do. But I will have my own room and Nemo will be out. Um, I will allow him to like roam the house. Sometimes, like if he was like too hyper at night, I will like put him like in the bathroom where his litter and food and water was, so that way like he wouldn't like try to like disturb anyone else from sleeping. uh, so he can calm down a little bit. But it was like rare when we ever had to do that. But that month of May, the entire month of May, I would sleep downstairs. So that way, like partially, so like in my own way, I can still spend most time with him, so he can sleep with me. Sometimes I would even take him in my room and he would sleep with me. Like I'll keep the door like cracked so that way he can like open it with his paw and go get food, drink, and go to the bathroom if he needs. But his health was really declining like so fast, and there was like nothing I could like I was doing that was making it better. Even went to the vet a few times. And I do remember, and God bless my brother and his fiance because I don't drive, but they took me to his Nemo's doctor appointment. So shout out to my brother and his fiance, because I have so much respect for them for helping me with Nemo. Well, they did not have to. I could have easily called an Uber with my broke ass. I could call an Uber because Nemo would have been that. It's worth it to me, and they pay for that bill. So I appreciate my brother and his fiance for really stepping up, taking that part of the stress away from me. Like, how the hell am I going to pay? They took that stress off, so I appreciate them. But the last week he was alive, I will hear him scream in pain, and at first I would like try and gently. At first I would gently like pet his head because I didn't know where the pain was, and then I realized maybe me petting him it's doing more harm than good because I don't know if that's only like making the pain worse. So I was be right there next to him, and he would look at me. I will like I don't know how, but sometimes he will like put his paw on my hand. I let him touch me, but I was so nervous. Like if I reciprocated and put my hand on his paw, that would make things worse. And it was like that all week. And as a parent, because I do did feel, and still do to this day, Nemo is my kid, my honorary kid. As a parent, seeing your kid, whether they're the same species of you or as you or not, is the hardest thing you can ever see. And not knowing what the hell to do, it breaks your heart into more pieces than I care to admit. And so I, when June 7th came, the doctor was saying, "Hey, we can there's this way that could work, but there's no guarantees." And I looked at Nemo and like I asked the doctor, "How certain are you with this?" Because I forget what they were suggesting. "How sure are you this way is going to work? That will help relieve the pain he's going through." And they said that they're not entirely sure. So I had to make the hardest decision ever. Do I take that route that will possibly help? Which, for sure, I would have loved for Nemo for that to work, and Nemo still being here to this day. Or will that potentially make things worse? Or will have seriously no effect at all, and Nemo still be in pain? Or the pain will get even worse? So I had to make a decision right then and there, me as a caretaker. I made the hard decision of having him being put down, then having to risk having him go through that pain any second longer than he had to. And I mainly I do think, what if I took that route where his I went with what the doctor suggested, and what if it did work? The doctor couldn't say that it will like give me a good odd, like say, "Oh, this will most likely work." If she said most likely work, I would take it, but she said I don't know. So at times I do think, what if I went that route? But what if that didn't? So that's a battle I have in my head. And so my brother was in the room, and when me and my brother were saying our goodbyes to Nemo, at this point he was still alive. They didn't give him the shot to put him to sleep, and then the other to stop his brainwaves and heart. My brother, who pretty much I always viewed as Nemo's uncle, my brother was crying, which I can't blame my brother. He was close to that cat as I was. I felt like I was going to, but I didn't allow myself because I wanted to do my best to be strong for Nemo. Where I wanted my brother to have time to cry too, And I'm not faulting my brother for crying because, like I said, he was close to Nemo as I was. I was closest, but he was close, so I don't blame my brother. But I wanted Nemo. The last thing he saw was his father smiling at him. As hard as that was, I wanted Nemo's last thing to see was me smiling at him. And I wanted, the last thing I had said to Nemo was thank you for all the wonderful years you've given me. Thank you for all the lessons you have given me, and thank you for making me a better person. And I don't remember I called him Little Knight, my Little Knight at that moment, or Nemo, but I do remember my very last words saying I love you to him. Again, I don't remember if I said I love you, my Little Knight, or I love you, Nemo. But I did. My last words were definitely I love you to Nemo. Gave him a shot and went, and he was gone. And as soon as the nurse left the building, that's when I that's when allow myself to really cry. And thank God for my brother, who was my hero in that very moment. Because my brother wasted no time but to will me in and hold me in his arms, to allow me to cry into him. I appreciate my brother very much in that moment, more than anything in my life. Even though he's been there for me, I appreciate him. Other aspects, but in that specific moment, I have so much appreciation, admiration, and respect for my brother for being there. Because I know how tough that was. He didn't have to stay in the room, but he chose to for Nemo and for me. And I appreciate him every single day. My one regret in that moment is not getting his paw print. But I did get his ashes, which is on my necklace too. Part of his ashes are in my necklace. Most of his ashes are in this pin. And I don't know how well you guys can see this, but it says, until we meet again at the Rainbow Bridge. I miss Nemo every day. I really do. Like I said, he taught me how to care for others in ways I didn't know how before. He taught me not to handle life as goofy. That's okay to be weird, crazy, yourself, and not give a fuck. Nemo was quite literally the best thing to have ever happened to me. And I miss him dearly. And sure, I do wish that he could be here now so I can physically hug him and kiss his little forehead. At least one last time. Saying to him, thank you, I love you, and I appreciate you. But I wouldn't want him back for that moment if that will only bring him more pain. The pain that I had to see him go through the last week. That boy was something. He was special. And a lot of people saw it. And I appreciate that. So I do hope that if you guys take anything from Nemo, like from Nemo's example, is it's okay to be caring towards others. It's okay to love others. And sometimes, yeah, with love, you have to be selfish, but also you have to be selfless too. To always grow, never give up, be weird, be yourself. And the right group of people will come around and flock to you. And just to appreciate the time that you have with others. Whether they're your family, your friends, your pets. Because you never know when the last moment is with them. So don't ever, if you're waiting to say, hey, I'm going to call this person, or I'm going to tell this person I have feelings for them, don't wait. Do it as soon as possible. Because you never know when their last moment is. But yeah, be weird. Even if that makes other people look at you weird. How I looked at Nemo, we were like, are you feeling okay, Nemo? Sometimes he will be hyper, like, are you feeling okay, Nemo? And will look at me like, pretty much that look he could give in his cat face. But nah, Nemo was a very special cat, and I will forever be grateful to have someone as amazing, handsome, and dare I say beautiful in my life. And I don't necessarily only mean beautiful on the outside, because he was a very beautiful cat visibly, but I mean beautiful on the inside as well. And Nemo was and still and will always be one of my heroes, if not the greatest hero. Because Nemo has gotten me through some rough patches over the years. So, I love you, Nemo. Appreciate you. Thank you guys for hearing my story. This is, I guess, chapter 1 of many. So, what I'll do is in each year it comes on June 7th. In case you guys haven't seen my video announcing this, like this Nemo Chronicles thing I'm going to do, each year on June 7th, I'm going to be telling you guys the story of Nemo. Granted, I could have split this into 2 parts, but I figured this might be better as one. But I do have at least a few more stories I would like to have out there of Nemo. So, with that said, if you like this story and you want to hear more, please make sure to subscribe to this channel so you guys can hear more. And if you guys want to see more of Nemo, that's another reason why you want to subscribe to this channel, because bunch of Nemo content on this channel. Plus, if you subscribe to my YouTube channel and go into the older videos, you'll see Nemo videos and streams with Nemo. So that said, love you guys. Have a wonderful day. Be kind to one another. I will talk to you, fellow awesome people, later.